Hello, this is Ray from Bricks Maven. How you guys doing? It's super late here, but I decided to make a video for you guys. So as you can see in front of you, we're going to be creating a hero section with a slanted image carousel. That's basically what we're going to be creating in this video. We're going to be using the animation function of CSS. So basically, the animation property. We'll be using this to create this animation, and I will be creating a second video where I actually show you guys how to create basically the same effect, but then it will have two rows and they're moving in the separate direction. One is going up, one is going down. With this specific example, I'm using the column function. Let me say it correctly. Let me search that out. Column CSS property. If I'm not, it's not a function. Yeah, property. Sorry guys, property. I don't know why I'm always saying function. CSS property. So I'm using the columns CSS property to create two rows, and then just sending the animation in one way. It can either go up, it can go down, and I'm also using an animation value that is allowing it to it's called alternate, and then it's continuously is being animated, so it keeps on flowing, but it keeps on going up and down. Right, as you can see, it just went down just now, because if you set it only to one way, once it finishes the animation, it will reset. But I don't like the reset, because once it resets, you see like a slight flash, and that doesn't look quite well. We actually also made a JavaScript version where it actually duplicates the blocks and it creates like this infinite scroll thing. But I actually like the CSS approach, so we'll be building this in this video. And yeah, let's get started. So we're back in the Bricks editor. Let me see here, and what we want to do to move my head away. My head is in the way. So started with a section. I'm just going to call this always something with the names hero slanted, something like that. Give this a uppercase, and let us just add all our elements. So we have a hero slanted section, we have the container, we need two blocks because we have our, I'll just call this, so this will be the content and this will be the media wrapper. And in our content, I'm not going to add the individual elements. Just to speed things up, I am going to add a intro section from the library, if it will load. Okay, no, it's not needed. So there, I just put it here. So we have our intro section. It's already styled. This would be a H1, and I would want it a little bit well, I cannot, because I'm using this no, I'm going to give it a class of H1 times 1.4. There you go. Oh, I'm using automatic CSS. I forgot to mention that. So just for to make my life easier. Could also have done this with core, obviously, or even vanilla CSS. Okay, so we have that in. So this is the only block and elements that have styling now, because I used the pre-made block, right, just to speed things up a little bit. we have our media wrapper. We need to create this two column image carousel. We need first of all a column that wraps it all, that is representing the second column in this container, because I'll be putting a grid. I'll be creating two grid columns with the container. On the media wrapper, we need another block, which will be I'll just call it the list carousel, or no, sorry, list wrapper. So this will not be the order list. The order list leads another wrapper for a specific reason, which we'll get into it later. So now we create two more blocks, and this will be the I'll just call it the image wrapper. Is that even a good name? No. This should be the image wrapper, sorry. And this should be the UL list. I'll just call it UL list, or carousel list. And in this we'll need a image. Image. There we go. So this is what we're working with. And on this we'll need a UL, and this will need the LI. And I'll be adding a list none here. I'm not going to be using the auto BEM feature. I'm just going to be adding my classes by hand. Hero slanted. This will be the hero slanted class. This will be the hero slanted container. Let's give this also a class content. Hero slanted content. Hero slanted media wrapper. This will be our list wrapper. This will be the carousel list. Whoops, carousel list. This would be actually a carousel item, and this will be the carousel item image. Carousel item image. Okay, so now we've added all our classes and we are ready to rock and roll. Okay, so first things first, starting from the top, from the section, what we need to do here is we want our block to fill the whole screen. So it will be 100 VH. That's the first thing we do. And we also want, because sorry, we want the cards to touch the top and the bottom of the section. We'll remove the top padding and the bottom padding. So that's where we need to get that straight. And we'll also be adding a overflow hidden, because once the cards are moving out of the section, we want it to not be visible or anything, right? So we had an overflow hidden to it. And let's move on to the container. Our container, as you can see, is only as high as the content that is currently fitting into it. So we want this to be 100%. So we go to layout, say height 100%. So it stretches from top to bottom. Okay. Now we proceed to adding a grid using the variables of ACSS. Now we have two grid items, right? We can give it a gap, small gap. I would like a bigger gap, though. Grid gap. Let's just try ×2. You know what? Let's just give it a grid gap for now, because I think my images will become quite small. Maybe I can add some extra padding here on the content to just make this a little bit smaller on this side. So we just say Excel is okay. Okay, great. So now the content, we want it to center at the middle, so do that. So now this is set at the middle. So far so good. And what we want to do now is look at the media wrapper. We want to set this to relative. There's a reason for that. So this is set to relative. Oh, wait. Let me not get this wrong. I mean the list wrapper. We set that to position relative. And a carousel list, we set this to position absolute. And let me just duplicate this. First I need my image. Let's add an image to it so that we give it something to work with. Copy the URL, extend the URL, I'll add a figure tag, cover, and I want to give it an aspect ratio of 4:6. So this is the kind of shape I want. And we will also give the image 100% width, and as for the height, give it 50 rem. Okay, cool. The next thing that we want to do is I'm going to duplicate this. Let me just Control Shift D. Oh, sorry, it's affecting my my Loom recording. If I do Control Shift D, it switches to pencil mode. So I need to do this by hand. I keep on forgetting that. Okay, so we duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, go for 12. The reason why I'm creating so many is because there are going to be two. I want to create two lists, two columns, and they'll both have each 6 images. And I want enough images that it actually is not going to you're not going to see like the beginning and the end. You're not going to see like extra white space. So that's why I'm doing it. If your list is too short, then your images will just be like hovering over a white background, which doesn't look right, doesn't look correct, right? So that's the reason. I might remove some later to show you how it will look if you actually don't have enough cards running through your section. Obviously it can differ if you decrease the height of your section. Then the smaller, the lower the height, the less images you need to fill up the space. Okay, might not make sense now, but I will give an example so that you guys can understand it a little bit better. Okay, so now I have all my cards. So now the next thing I'll be doing, we need to add columns. So we need to add the columns to the carousel list. So I'll come here, say root, columns, oops, 2, let me see, 2, columns 2. We also need a column gap, and that is, I'm gonna give this a space XL. Okay, now the reason why it's not working is because columns do not work with Flexbox, and I think they don't work with grid too, so we need to set this to block. and once we do, we can see our columns as you can see. Okay, so let's come down here again. My column gap, did I write it well? I think so. Yeah, so M, this is enough spacing. So so the next thing that I made a mistake. What did I do here? M is until S is okay. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is give the list a margin bottom so that it has some space. I'll give it S2 so it matches the gap space. So now we have the gap, and as you can see, we have something that is now looking more like this, right? Okay, so let us proceed to add the animation. So the animation needs to be added to the list wrapper and not the carousel list, to the list wrapper, because that's the one that will be moving up and down actually. So let's proceed and do that. Okay, list. Okay, CSS. We need to do the following. So root, and then we need to write out the root. We say root, and then we need to target the carousel list. Oh wait, you know what? We do not need to do that. We just put it on the list itself. So we say root, up, and then we start out with animate, and then first we set the amount of the duration, that's 35 seconds. Let's take a look at the animation properties, right, or values in this case. So we have the name. So first we need to, for animation to work, we need to set the name. So I'm calling this slide up. Now we set the duration here, and then we set a timing function, which I don't think I will need a timing function. Okay, I do need a timing function. That's line near, and I don't need a delay. Iteration count. Do we need that? Let me see what that was again. Iteration count. No, we don't need that. So I'll be setting the name, the duration, the timing function, and the direction, if I'm correct. If I'm correct. I always get these things mixed up. Let me see, what is the direction? I think is with the alternate, yes, and I need the iteration count. Is that what iteration count is? Yeah, iteration count, yes. So we need the iteration count. We need the name, sorry guys, we need the name, duration, timing function, iteration count, and animation direction. So 5 values we're going to be imputing into. So this is the name, this is the duration, and then, sorry, let me look again. This is the iteration count, which is infinite, because I want it to keep on moving forever in perpetuity, right? And then we want the direction, which is alternate. Alternate just means it's going back and forth. The different values of you can go to the documentation and always look at the different, this normal, reverse, alternate, this alternate, reverse, so you can play around with that. And then we need forgetting one. infinite alternate. Oh, and the timing function. We'll just put linear. So that's basically the 5 values that we're using. As you can see, nothing is happening yet, right? Because once you set a animation, you need to set the keyframes of the animation. The keyframes run from 0 to 100%, or they have two keyframes have two, I think they're properties, right, of keyframe, and it has 0% to 100%, and it also has 2 from to 2. So it's just basically saying where does the animation start, where does it end, right? So we just write like this keyframe, and then you reference the animation name, slide, which is slide up, and now we say 0%, and here we add 100%. Okay, so now we can give it the kind of animation we want using we're going to use the transform property. Transform, and then we're going to translate the y-axis. Let me also copy it here. Okay, so I will set this to a 0%. So I want the ending to be at a 0%. So 0% is actually the beginning, right? The beginning of the end. Sounds weird, but you see what I mean. And I want it to start minus 50% from the beginning. That's basically what I want. Okay, so I noticed that it's not working, so I must have made a typo somewhere. Yes, keyframes. Right, 0%. Transform. Translate I minus. I always somehow make typos, so I always have to double check. Animation. Oh, it's animation. See what I mean? Just have some kind of typo somewhere. Ah, there we go. See. Okay. So, as you can see, it's starting to move now. So let me bring this down to 5 seconds so that you can see it quickly. See how it's moving? And it goes back up. So it goes all the way down and it goes back up again. And this is basically what we want to see. So obviously 5 seconds is too fast, but I just want you guys to see how quick that moves. So now I'm going to show you guys what I meant with the spacing. So let me remove. If I say delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. So we're down to 4, I think 8. Delete, delete, delete. Or one more. See, now we have all this white space, right? Whereas I had a JavaScript version that will actually duplicate every single card you add to the list to duplicate it. So it created this infinite loop. So it never ended, right? So this is basically what you're getting if you only have a few cards in it. That's why I added more, to make sure that you never get this empty white space. Okay, so let me just put them back. 6, 7, this 8, this 9, 11, and 12. Well, with this we're sure that you will never reach the end. Okay, and if you actually want to do it in a smart way, we can go back to our carousel list, and we basically set, instead of setting this to the end, we set this to -5, which means that it will never go all the way to the end, right? Okay, hope that makes sense. If you notice that once it goes down, it stops. Let me see, it's it will not even show the whole card because I set it to -5. Okay, so our next thing that we want to do now is we want to rotate this carousel list. So let me go back to the list wrapper, or was it on the, I want to rotate the whole media wrapper. So let's go here and then say transform again. We need the transform property, transform rotate, and let's give this a, depends on where you want it to rotate. Let's see, let me see. So we have our rotation going on. Let me just put this back to 35 or 50. Oh, look. Oh, one more thing. The speed of the animation, right? You can also, you can determine how fast it goes. If you put it real slow, I like the slow ones. I could even go up to like 60. Then it's like super slow. And yeah, people can just take the time to look at the pictures, right? So I like this. I like this very much. And now I've rotated, as you can see, the whole thing. And let me save and let's check this out on the front. There we go. Looks cool, right? Okay, so now the next step is to fix the responsive mode, right? So we need to do some work there. If we go to the tablet portrait, this doesn't look that good. I'm actually going to, once you hit tablet portrait, I want to remove the rotation. I want it to run straight. Unless this is somehow acceptable, then we can keep this like this, and then we actually jump to mobile landscape where I start saying, okay, we need to do something about the whole shape. So let's do something about this. So we can go to, first of all, our hero. I want to bring this back to 100%. Now, you know what? Let's keep it at 100 VH. Let's keep it at that. Let's make our container one column grid. Don't worry about it. We need to give our media wrapper a height because it's like it was set to a position absolute right, if you remember. So we need to give this a height. Let's say if I say 70 VH, no, wait, let me just give it a rem value. Let me take off the, let's remove the, what's it called? Wait, I will remove the rotation, but first we also need to give this a overflow hidden because I want it contained. And then let's rotate it back. That's here on the CSS tab. So I'll just copy this and go to, let's create a media query. Add max width 767 pixels. Yeah. And just set this to 0 degrees. So what we get now is a straight, yeah. We got a straight, the straight lines now. They're no more slanted anymore. Okay, now we need to, let me set this to 100% and let us put back some spacing here. We can leave, you can decide if you want this to have spacing like this, right? Or just keep it at 0, which is also cool. And then I think the rest will just fix itself. And what we could do, like say on mobile, on the image, is decrease the height. So we could say 24 and oops, right? So this looks a bit better. So this is what we have done: slanted, slanted, then it's stacked, and we decrease the images. And basically we are done with this. Let's check it out on the front. This is what we just created, guys. Boom, boom. Okay, so there are 2 more things that we can do that I want to take you guys through, and that's the following. Let's go back here. Let me just go to the carousel list, because there's some, I can clean up the CSS a bit more. Look, there was no reason to do this, so I will copy this and just put it here and remove this. And I think what I want to do now is also add some locally scoped variables to make this easier to edit. Follow me as I make this easier. So the first thing is we can call this animation name. So I'm just using the name that these values are called, right? This is the animation name, and that is in this case it's slide up. And then the next one would be animation. Let me just see what that's called. This animation duration. Animation duration is 60 seconds. And then animation, this was called timing. Animation iteration count. Iteration count. That is set to infinite. And then we have animation, sorry, this one is called animation direction. Let's alternate. And then we have the animation timing function. Animation timing function. That's linear. Yeah, you could obviously do ease in, ease out, ease in and out, ease, you know, it's all up to you. Okay, so now what we have here is animation duration time function, and we also have you can have 2 values for the keyframe. So I could say animation keyframe up is minus 50%. No, sorry. Animation keyframe start. Sorry, my bad. No, just copy this, and the other one will be the end. Animation keyframe end. And now what we could do is basically go in here and yeah, we could basically change all this stuff. So instead of the slide up here, I will have you get, let me just copy this because you want to move quick. Get bar, and then boom. So it works. So you can use this here, and it should, I'm not sure if it works here. Let's try that. No, it breaks. See, it breaks here. Can't use it here, right? Can't use it here. So actually you could say this is redundant, right? This is not needed. Don't need that. Okay, so let's continue with this. This is animation iteration. No, duration, sorry. This is the duration, so we add that there. As for the infinite, we copy this. This is the var animation. And then we go for animation direction. Var animation direction, and we have our linear. This is the timing function. Var that, and then we have the last two, which is keyframe start and var keyframe end. For keyframe and oh, I made a mistake. That's -5. Okay. So as you can see, what we've basically done now, if you are not following what I just did right now, I made tokens right to make it easier to make changes. So if you wanna change the duration, you can do it here. You can say, okay, 5 seconds, so it's faster. 10 seconds, slow, it's a little bit faster, right? 50 seconds, you could change the iteration count here. You can change the direction here. The timing function, you could say you want ease in, out. Did I write that in correctly? Okay, it's moving, so let's see it quicker how that moves. So it starts slow, it ends slow. Starts slow, then speeds up, and at the end it will slow down again. You see? And it starts, it speeds up again. So you have just a different kind of animation. You can have ease in, ease out, ease. The other timing functions you could use. So you have a key start, key end, which you can also play with here. The percentages, you can change them. And we don't need to mess with all this stuff here. So I could also do that for the column, for the columns and the gap. I could also do the same thing. But as you can see, we've added some locally scoped variables to it. And we could also do one more thing, and that is create a query loop with the images. That will be the last thing I'm showing you. So let's delete all this stuff. Duplicating, delete. We're going to add a query loop to the image wrapper, which is the list item, which will populate images. And I'll set it also to maximum of 12 images too. So here I will see how, first of all, I'll have to see how this will go. Let me see if I can select no, you know what, I'm going to say featured image. I don't think, do I have posts here? I'm not sure. Let's see. So I'm bringing in the featured image of the post, only the featured images, right? I hope I have at least 12. If I don't, then we'll see. So on your image wrapper, you go to query loop, and say post, and why is it flipped? Oh wait, I think it's my bad. It's the way I set the rotation. Oh, this is actually a good test. Do I have, wait, first do I see, do I have 12? I'm not sure. And this thing is moving way too quick. Wait, I need to change the speed. put it back to like 45. Yeah, that's better. Whew, this is really hurting my eyes. Okay. So what I want to do here is flip this around, because as you can see, the rotation didn't really come out well. I think wait, let's see, because I'm getting confused now. Okay, 90 degrees, nope, 9 degrees. So if I say -9, also good, right? That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so we have the right rotation here. I flipped it all around. Yeah, so let's save this, and let me check on the front. So this is basically what you get. And you see here you have space. That's just because I only have 10 posts. I don't have 12. But to remedy that, like I said before, we could come back here and put this like to 15. So actually we should not be able to wait, is it going up or down? Wait, I'm confused. 0. Let's put it to 0 first. Let me see. Let me let it go a little bit faster so I can see what is going wrong. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 10 posts. Okay, so if I say 20 to go further, yes. So -20, and this should be -40. Then it should be contained if I'm correct. Yeah, see, there we go. Okay, so it's contained now. Okay, we still have posts there, that's cool. Goes up. Oh yeah, there we go. Maybe I could say 45, I think. It can move a little, show us a little bit more. Oh, okay, the images. And down. Okay, so it's moving between -45 and -20. Yeah. Well, you can always play with these numbers and see what works best. If you're thinking like, okay, you want it to move the other way, because now it's basically going. Let me put it back to line here. It's actually moving down. If you want it to move up, did I flip this thing around? Sorry, sometimes I get confused with the. Maybe I'm confusing myself, but it's moving. Let me just break this alternate, and to break everything, let me take the alternate out because it's confusing me. That's the direction. Just temporary. Just taking it out. Okay, it's moving down. Okay, so if you want to flip this around, I'll put the end to 50. Wait, -50. Was it going up or down just now? Wow, guys, this is so. You guys might be shouting at me. Sorry, guys. 50. Okay, if it's set to -50, it goes down. If it's 50, it goes up. Yeah. Okay, let me put that back. And let me just fix everything, put everything back. Like I said, just you need to play around with this, and this is what will work for me. It's going down and it's going up. Yeah. Okay, so guys, this is basically the end of the video, right? And we've gone through a lot of stuff, showed you guys basically how to create the columns, how to create the animations, how to add locally scoped variables, and how to add a query loop to the images. So I hope this was a very educational video. I'm going to create, like I said, the same, to be a part 2, where I do the same thing, but then we'll be creating this, where one is moving up and the other is moving down, right? And this also has the same. You can also rotate it, right? If you'd like, you can. Actually, this is built differently than the other one because I use column with the block we just built, whereas this one is actually split into two blocks. Reason being is to be able to get this effect, you need to split it into two columns. You cannot do it with one column, because with one column you can only push it one direction, one down or up. So this is a slightly different build. It has actually the same structure. It's just basically this carousel list actually, but then duplicated, and then without the columns. So that's just basically the difference. You can let me know in the comments if I should actually even create that. You don't want to waste time here. But anyways, hope you guys like this video. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye bye.